Ladies and gents, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we look at cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves, should we be investing in them? Today, we're going to be looking at DappRadar. If you guys like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing, as well as commenting and sharing if you do end up enjoying the video. We've also got a Patreon if you do want to join it, if you want to, potentially get fan requests or join the Discord community or get video shoutouts. Anyway, we're small at the moment, but we're growing. So DappRadar. Now, do not be misled by this title here, where it says coins. It's actually a token. How do I know that this is a token instead of a coin? Control F on their white paper, two suggestions for the word coin, and a lot of suggestions with the word token. One of the suggestions being what you will see inside radar token. So yes, do not be fooled or misled by that. By the way, sorry, one other thing to mention. If you guys haven't already, please do consider filling out maybe some of these things on here. So this is my community section. If you want to tick some things, I got a new one today. Oh, and I'm also going to be deleting this one. So save these results for those of you who are wanting to know. But you can, pause the video and have a re-watch of that. And so yeah, so my next question is, which form of CSI video would you prefer? So posted it 3 hours ago. Would very much like you guys to comment on that. Well, I say comment, but just select the one which is sort of most suitable, because I do want to tailor my videos to what you guys will like. So DappRadar. This is the YouTube channel. Pretty cool stuff. The videos seem very high quality. The media seems very well. 5.57k subscribers. Yeah, so it all seems to be going pretty good and well with these guys. Now, one thing which I haven't been doing in my videos recently, which you guys can comment on, is I haven't really been explaining much about what projects are. But essentially, from what I understand from what these guys do, this is like your one-stop shop with anything Dapp related. Yeah, it seems really cool that they've got some really great, I want to say platforms, but you can look through rankings and EFTs, DeFi and portfolios, and do a whole bunch of other things. So they definitely have a working system, and they are constantly updating and keeping on top of the rest of the market. So when it comes to those, these guys are wonderful. I definitely suggest these guys. I don't think I've seen anybody that has done it as well as these guys. So if there is one, feel free to comment it. But if there isn't, then yeah, this is it. Sorry, that peaked there a little bit. So yeah, as you can see here, in the last 48 hours, it has gone quite high. Not quite as high as the all-time high. But the fact that Bitcoin is the lowest in a while that it has been, from what I remember, then that's pretty impressive. That these guys are still pumping up. But that's probably because people are also looking for other things elsewhere, other places to be able to, I guess, find decent projects. So when we have a look at some of the exchanges which these guys are available on, they're on Huobi Global, Crypto.com, SushiSwap, Mexi, XT.com. So according to my little list here, the fact that they're on Crypto.com is a pretty good time. So I'm actually going to be giving these guys a number 8 for centralized exchanges and DEX listings. Yes, so here is their white paper. For those of you who want to know, this is one of the best white papers I have seen. The way which they have written this out is just really well. It's easy enough for us as the standard person to read. It's not just a whole bunch of non-pictured words right in front of us. So another cool thing is that they actually are telling us how much is going to be allocated as part of the TGE and the allocation. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best things which you want to look. So as you can see, so they say 40% to the community, so 25.25%. I love the fact that they've split it up only into 4 categories, because other ones will be 5% marketing and 10% R&D and stuff like that. These guys have just gone straight down the middle and then said, hey, we're going to be giving 25% to our shareholders and team. So 25% is on the larger side, but in terms of the actual allocation, this is a pretty attractive number, to be honest, because when you have a look at this, you can see that only really once they actually reach around late 2025 will they actually receive those, which is really cool. And so we're currently on the stage right here. We're on the 4th of, wait, how does that work? So we're on the 4th of April, yes. Sorry, we're on April, which is number 4. So as you can see, the community will get a huge chunk as well. They will get the most. The treasury will be receiving 24.75%. To me, treasury and shareholders slash team can almost kind of be considered like the same kind of deal, but there may be some differences. And also they say 10% as a part of the initial airdrop as well. So in terms of all of those things, is really cool. They do give a bit of a brief description about the treasury right here. And then so as you can see, it says that these initiatives may include strategic partnerships, acquisition, funding events, DeFi-enabled treasury, growth strategies, and among other things as well. So that's awesome. They do show a part of their team as well. And I believe that these would be a part of their, I guess, partner system, if you want to call it that. They also have a roadmap as well, which I think is also wonderful. So keep in mind that this actual document itself was done in late 2021. And so for the year 2022, we can see what's sort of going on here. So we see the stuff which has already been completed. As you can see, they've got some nice things which have already been done. And then for the year 2022, you can see NFT Explorer, gaming rankings, mobile app curation and contribution. Although we don't see exactly specific details, we know that these sort of things may take a while to implement. And because we have already got some other previous working products from these guys, that's sort of what makes that should essentially make us as investors be able to trust that their roadmap is what they say it is going to be. Cool. So that is their white paper. They did very well with that. This is also their repositories. As you can see, they've got a bunch of open source things, which is fabulous. When we actually click on it, you can go through and you should be able to see things which are involved within this. So yeah, I think that it's really cool that they do that. So this is what we can see on Etherscan currently. So although these are high percentages, these are actually locked into smart contracts, which actually makes them a lot better. And I imagine that these lockages would actually come underneath the idea of vesting, right? So remember that vesting, we had 40% allocated to the community, and then we had 25% allocated to the team and shareholders, and then we had the other 25% being allocated for the treasury. Although what's kind of interesting is that, so according to the actual age of this token, it's only been around since the 14th of December. So the fact that these do show a little less than their, full-fledged numbers such as 25 and 40 does tell me that there has been some which have been released, and from their white paper we did see that they would only be releasing the team tokens after about a one year cliff. So it's a bit concerning that it doesn't seem as though they have gone and followed through with that, because these are not matching up with what they could be matching up with. So yeah, otherwise, on the other side of things, they may have just decided to unlock extras, but that's, yeah, I don't really like the look of that, to be honest. Like, that feels a bit dishonest. But you guys can make your own judgment with that. So in terms of the liquidity, as you can see, SushiSwap here, Huobi's there, Wintermute, not sure what that is, and also Crypto.com as well. So there is definitely a bunch of liquidity, as you can see, within the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Other than SushiSwap, where it says that it currently has 1.6 million locked in liquidity there, so that's fine. So let's have a look at what BSC check tells us. So it doesn't really tell us too much. We know that it's not a honeypot, but that's pretty much the only real information which we can kind of see from here. Cannot read contract owner. I have tried to look at the contract myself, and it doesn't look like it's anything suspicious or out of the ordinary. For some reason, Token Sniffer says that this is a honeypot. This is not a honeypot. Okay, so this is giving us a false negative. Okay. Just to let you guys know, I did go onto honeypot.is myself to just double check that, so it is not a honeypot. Okay. Liquidity, they say that liquidity is fine with all of this jazz, so that is a-okay. And when we go to Moonarch, we can see that the liquidity says that it's 1.6 68 million, as we can see there, and it says that the market cap is 236 now. We don't currently know the market cap, which is like minus. So this is the fully diluted market cap, depending on what the whole entire circulating supply would currently be. We will just briefly check here. So it says max total supply. It says 10 billion here. So in terms of what is released, we'll just briefly check so we can see. Okay, cool. So it looks like since a bunch of it is still currently locked under smart contracts, that it wouldn't really count as so the fully if all those were unlocked, this would essentially be how much it would be worth, and there was nothing burned. Just to have you guys understand that section. Also, this couldn't find anything suspicious, and I mean the only thing which I mentioned was the ERC20 ._min function, which is also pretty common as well. And it says that in terms of liquidity, it's only 0.72% of liquidity, but I don't believe, from memory, I don't believe that would actually include the other ones which we see as well. So if we have a look here, so you can see that this is 0.68. Okay, cool. So this is liquidity. This is, you could call that liquidity, but it's like liquidity for an exchange. So I don't know if it's like properly considered liquidity. And you can also consider similar with this as well. So yeah, you could probably say that all of them would, I guess, equal up to, it'd probably be, so 0.72. I mean, yeah. It's debatable. In terms of, so these are some of the social metrics which these guys have. In terms of their social metrics, they have received 4,400 followers in the last 30 days, which is pretty impressive. So it means that all of these are green. All of these are green. So these guys are continuously growing. Now they do tweet a lot of things, as you can see, pretty much every single day. They have got double-digit tweets because most of their tweets are based around various Dapp projects, right? And I think that if you are to follow these guys, then that could be a really good idea. It might be a bit overwhelming though. So that's why going onto their website and looking at maybe like what are like some like the top ones, or what are some of the most recent, and you know, DeFi and NFTs and all that sort of jazz, so that you guys can, I guess, find that sort of stuff out. In fact, I have actually used these guys' website before as well, because I was trying to find out something to do with TVL, which stands for Total Value Locked. You can see top collections, top sales, and marketplaces, and so yeah. So, and you can change it to like 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 24 hours. So all of this stuff would be really helpful, especially if you're wanting to find things which are likely moving wherever the market's going, right? Yeah. So that's cool. In terms of the Google Trends with these guys, by the way, this is actually how you like spell the name DappRadar. I looked on their like press section on their website, and then they're like, this is how you spell it. You can't spell it any other way. Yeah, so as you can see, they have had a bit of a hefty search around that sort of December time, and then if we have a look, so that was within the last 12 months. We have a look at the last 90 days. As you can see, we had January 16th, and then so a little bit more down from then. Sorry, did I say last 30? I meant last 90. And then so this is the last 30 days, and then you can see April 5th, and they've had a few searches from there. So this is their main website. Their website, from what I can see, it's clean. It's clean, it's tight. I can't really say anything bad about it. Links work, things work. Haven't tried the search function, but from everything which I have tried, it seems to be pretty good. This is also where I actually found out their white paper as well. I believe I might have got to this page. I think it no, it wasn't an industry overview. There was some link which I clicked on which brought me there. Do not remember which one it actually was. But yeah, so this talks a bit about what you can do with this. So they say explore radar utility. So if you do invest in these guys, these are various things which you can be looking at receiving if you do join them. So they can tell you what sort of benefits you can be getting, and they also have a brief thing here. So I think that these guys are recording the information really well. So when I type in interview or AMA, we do actually come up with a bunch of AMAs. So DappRadar, AMA. So they've got a bunch of AMAs on their channel themselves, and they've also had an interview with another channel called Lad's City. Yeah, so there's not really many interviews with other places, but we do know that they have had AMAs with other dapps than themselves, so I think that's pretty solid, to be honest. Yeah. Also, the fact that they have a team photo. This is really cool. So they literally have the whole entire team right here, which I think is wonderful. It really helps give us trust in these guys that we can see their faces. They show their executive team here as well. So you have the CEO and co-founder, CDO and co-founder, and COO. So they're this sort of main exec team. We can have a look through them on LinkedIn as well, so I'm not going to pronounce the name, I'm sorry, champ. But in terms of his experience, so he says that he's the CEO and co-founder of DappRadar, and he was a software developer for NFQ, so not really too sure about the rest of his background. However, we can see that he does talk about some of his other skills regarding backend web development, Node.js, and game development. And so he has done other projects as well, as you can see there. So he was the CEO, wasn't he? Yes. And then we have, I'm not going to pronounce the name again because I feel like I'm going to butcher it, but this fellow's actually worked as operations for Electronic Arts, so that's pretty impressive. And he was also a front-end developer for eJournal and another front-end developer for European Network TLC, so he's worked for them for 2 years. And it says that he's worked for DappRadar for about 4 years. So yeah, so DappRadar has been around for longer than their actual radar token. And I believe that their radar token they just decided to release, which I think, yeah, the fact that they have had a working product and then they just decided to go and do a token like on top of that working product, I think is a genius move. Because one of the best things is when you have a working product which people want, and then you can make a token on top of that. Carpi to these guys. Wild Tangent, man, I have a game from Wild Tangent. So this is Patrick. So he was the vice president of Fox Mobile Group. He was a VP in business development. VP Business Development, Vice President of Business Development. Okay, sorry, that just messed with me. So he was the head of the EMEA business for Wild Tangent, VP Sales and Partnerships for Flexion Mobile, and now he is currently working for DappRadar as their Chief Operations Officer, or Operational Officer, however you want to word it. So yeah, so definitely some good experiences. Now we get to this part of the show where I fill out this and you guys tell me if it's going to be good or not. So Functional and Clean website. Honestly, this is one of the best websites I've probably seen. These guys, I think Pegaxi was one of the other ones which I've seen, which did really well. The one thing which I would probably say, yeah, no, I think that this is one of the best which I've seen, so I'm gonna give them a 10 for that. I was gonna say if they could improve anything, would be maybe to have like a team button down here, but honestly, like, I think that these guys are just wonderful, like, either way. And remember, your boy doesn't like to shill, okay? So I'm not shilling these guys. I haven't been paid for this. I'm not invested into these guys. I'm just telling you guys about them. Any threatening big boy holders? Not really. I wouldn't say so. But maybe later down the track, possibly. So I'll give these guys about a 9. Did not see any, couldn't find any Control V bot comments, but keep in mind that they have like a lot of things which they actually tweet, so I almost want to give them a not applicable, but I'm going to give them about a 9 just because we can't completely tell. Is the token / coin distribution fair? It's fairish. 25% is on the higher end. But everything else from what we have seen is still pretty good. So I wouldn't say it's bad, okay? Would not say it's bad. Solid roadmap. Didn't give us a lot of information, and it wasn't an interactive roadmap from what I could see. So the fact that it's not interactive and it didn't give us all the information, like the roadmap was good, it was simple, but it didn't give us like maybe extras which we could know. Such as like maybe how far through they are, or I don't know, something like that. But you know, like roadmaps don't necessarily need to have all that sort of information. Is the team doxed with LinkedIn? Now they aren't completely doxed. So you've got the 3 sort of executive team members which you saw, but I haven't seen anything else regarding the rest of their team. So in terms of those guys, I'll probably say we'll give them about a 6 for that, because the fact that we do see faces and they are actually and they have been in interviews and or AMA really does tell us some good information. Team interviews and or AMAs, so I'll give these guys about a 9. I feel like we should probably have like maybe at least 1 or 2 other interviews from another YouTube channel, for instance, because also a bunch of the AMAs more focus, or from what I can see, more focus on the other DApp projects rather than like the actual DappRadar itself. So actually I'm gonna drop it down to an 8 for that reason, because it seems less like they're talking about their actual token and more about others' tokens. So I'm gonna drop it down to about an 8 for that. Relevant team experience, from what we have seen, yes. So I want to give them about a 7, because it's not like the most team experience, but it's enough for us to be able to say, hey, these guys at least know a little bit more about what they're doing. Actually, I'm gonna bring that up to about an 8, because I mean technically they are the guys who are in charge. And I mean, the main guy who's the CEO literally has some extra background regarding like JavaScript and game development and everything. So I think that's really important. And any notable partnerships? Could not see any. So actually, I won't make it not applicable. We'll give them about a. They seem like they had some big-ish names, but I didn't really recognize them, so I'm gonna give them probably about a 4 for that. Yeah. So these guys did really well. I believe that is a 8 out of 10, if I have that right. Yeah, so that's actually about an 8 out of 10 from what you guys can see. Even though it says 78, it's an 8 on my spreadsheet. Yeah, so 4-star. That's one of the best ratings I've given for projects, so good on these guys. Anyway, once again, if you really did like what you've watched and you do want to share and potentially like and subscribe, that would be awesome. If you do want to join my Patreon, become part of my community, or have any fan requests, please do join here. And if you do wish to comment, once again, pause the video on that little grey box before commenting. So, yeah. Anyway, folks, much love, be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and happy journeys, I guess.